So if you have a really good, strong offer, but it only sells when you're showing up online every day, pushing it, then the issue isn't your offer. It's actually the system that's surrounding it. So in this video, I want to walk you through the real structure behind how I teach and how I personally sell my offers every single week without the launching, the live streams, last minute flash email marathons. I'm talking all back end, delivery, visibility, automations, because I want to help you put the right pieces in place so that you can make the sales that you desire consistently, cleanly, and without you being on all the time. Let's get into it. So when it comes to building a business, the hardest part about growing it for me wasn't always finding the clients. It was really about the structure and the tech around it, because it can collapse at any point without pushing it. And I learned that the hard way. When I was doing personal finance coaching, I had great results, great revenue, but every single dollar was tied to how often I showed up. So I would host weekly lives. I would be in my group almost every waking hour, answering questions and creating engaging posts. I would post up to 3 or more times a day on my business social media profiles, answering emails, reaching out via DMs, because I had to close these sales, but it was also exhausting. And then when I transitioned to the agency model, I finally had more support from my team, but I also had a full team, lots of moving parts, and was in more personal meetings than I desired to. And as an introvert, especially in an Aquarius who's also an introvert, that was horrible for me. So then I shifted again and I built a more hybrid model where I started building offers that can sell and deliver without me being at the center of everything. And yes, that changed the game. But here's what I don't want you to miss. I was well into my business before I started to set up the proper tech and systems. I didn't have workflows. I didn't have SOPs. I wasn't running with the clean automation or project plans. I mean, I was making money, sure, but behind the scenes, it felt like I was winging it or moving and shaking, but no real structure. And I was actually talking to someone who's epic in the financial industry, Anita Johnson, and she flat out told me, sis, you have to fall back and create some structure because you are making money. You just aren't operating your business like a business. Love her for that. And so I had to stop and backtrack, clean up the delivery, document the processes, build the systems that could support the success I already had, but couldn't sustain without me showing up. And that was hard. That was the hardest part, the structure that I had to retrofit while still showing up certain clients and growing my business. And that's why I'm creating this video for you right now, because some of you are in this exact same situation. You have the scalable offer. That's part of building the business. That's part of the process, because it gives you the time, the freedom, the lifestyle, the profit. But if you don't build the system around it, your visibility, the follow-up, the delivery, it doesn't matter how good the offer is, because people will not continue to buy what they don't understand. They won't trust what feels chaotic, and they won't stick around if your process feels scattered and all over the place. It creates confusion. And this is where things started to shift for me, the infrastructure. Because when your system is solid and you get to stop performing, then you can start leading. So let's walk through the structure that supports consistent weekly sales in my business. And I have 3 core systems that I've built to literally just keep everything running. So number 1 is how I deliver my offers, and I'll dive deeper into this. Number 2 is how I follow up and close the sales. And then number 3 is how I am visible without being online all day. And each one of these have a clear function, and each one is supported by simple, intentional tech. So let's break it down. So let's start with the first one, which is my offer and delivery system. I always have 1 to 2 main offers that stay available year round. They're evergreen offers. They're designed to be delivered without me. So I'm not showing up live, answering questions, none of that. Clients are onboarded through my CRM. And right now I'm using Fluent CRM, which is a WordPress plugin. And it's affordable, it's simple to run, and it integrates with everything that I use. And it's really, really good if you're already on WordPress and have a WordPress website. Now, once they are in, they are guided to their client portal or dashboard to access everything that they purchase. And I use another WordPress plugin for that, which is LearnDash, so that everything is kind of integrating on the WordPress theme. To organize documents, asset templates, and all of that good stuff, I use Google Workspace. I already have the email, so might as well use those tools. And then if I want to send them a survey or form, I use Formaloo, but you can most definitely use Google Forms for that. But everything is connected to my CRM, Fluent CRM. For extra storage, large files, I have a storage system. I use pCloud, and then I manage progress tasks, client workflows through my project management tool, Nifty. The delivery experience is clean, is predictable, is easy, okay, to maintain even as I scale. So I actually left links below if you want to check any of those out. But the main thing is ensuring that all of this works and kind of connects together. So let me show you how all of the pieces come together. Which leads me to number 2, my funnel and follow-up system. So when someone purchases something or downloads a guide or clicks a link in an email or fills out a survey or intake form, then that action kicks off an automated follow-up email process or sequence. And inside of my Fluent CRM, I've set up short email sequences, anywhere from 5 to 7 email messages that help clients to understand what the offer is, why it matters, and what to do next. I love to teach further and build off the offer to ensure they really know how to implement it and to put it into action and to deepen their knowledge and understanding. And of course, to further position the next offer that's more in depth. The emails answer common questions, speak directly to whatever stage that the buyers are thinking at that part or that point in their business. And I also create soft reminders in key places for those who haven't purchased. A line in my weekly emails, a small banner or pop-up on my website, a pinned comment inside of my community. Therefore, when someone is ready to buy, I have to the next step, and that's Thrive. Thrive handles my payments. If it's a one-on-one, TinyCal is how they book appointments. So everything in this system is tracked inside of my CRM, Fluent CRM. So I'm not guessing where someone is in the process or whether they have seen the right information. I know they have. I've tracked it and I've designed it. So altogether, for everything, for my CRM, I use Fluent CRM. I use ThriveCart and Stripe for my payment processing, upsells, downsales, etc. LearnDash for my learning management system for courses, downloads, and all of that good stuff. TinyCal for appointments. Google Workspace to organize everything. And then my project management software is Nifty. So my small team kind of knows what's going on and everything is systematic. I'm very streamlined, and it's the best way to ensure the desired results are duplicatable and on point each and every time. And then pCloud for storage. Pretty simple. Everything integrates and aligns with each other, and it's also affordable. I used to spend a ton of money, okay, on Infusionsoft, Thinkific, and other key platforms. And I brought that way down and streamlined everything. And then once it was mapped out and working smoothly, then I added automation and now AI using ChatGPT, Task, NAN, and Make.com, and it handles everything else. This is super important because my automations and AI are working my system and doing all of the heavy lifting. That is my first quote unquote hire. And this limits the support staff that I have to hire. And now I have my executive team to work on more CEO focused stuff, according to my SOPs, according to my project management plan, according to my workflows. And again, my main outsourced help is my executive assistant, my web and graphic designer who maintains my websites and do all of my designs and all that good stuff, and my tech person for when something needs to be done outside of our scope and expertise, like setting everything I just set up. So I'll actually leave his information below for you as well in case you need some tech help in setting up your unique system for your business. Now let's talk visibility, because you always need new eyeballs on your offers. I focus on 3 channels. They match my strengths, okay? Email, connection, and discovery. So let's break that down. I think number 1, the email channel is self-explanatory. This is the only channel that you own. You must have an email list, even if it starts with like 5 people. We can grow it, okay? This is how you build direct connection. So it's non-negotiable. You have to have an email list. Number 2 is your connection channel or your visibility channel. And this is where you teach, you share, you document your ideas consistently, position yourself as an expert, help people understand how you think and what you know. So it can be YouTube, okay? But you can also use a podcast or a blog, for example. And start off with one that really feels natural for you so you can show up consistently, right? And then the third one is your discovery channel. And this is how you get in front of people who you do not already know. And you do this by being a guest or a collaborator or a speaker in other people's audiences and spaces. So podcast interviews, Instagram live as a guest, Facebook takeovers, sharing your story at a community event, or speaking on conference stages. This is how you borrow other people's audiences instead of trying to build everything from scratch. This was like my number one thing that helped me grow. And you want to create a rhythm. So like one YouTube video a week, repurpose that into emails or Instagram posts, Facebook, whatever. Decide how many emails you want to send each week. I personally send about 2 to 3 emails. Each one is tied to a specific strategy or a mindset shift or a system breakdown, right? And my messages are written and scheduled inside of what? My CRM, Fluent CRM. And my team and I use Nifty to plan everything, the visibility content, map out launch cycles, track repurposing. We track everything inside of there. I, for one, do not post daily. That's just not something that works for me. My content is created intentionally with purpose. It's connected to my offers. It's built around how I actually like to work. So, I mean, it's all good and it works for me. You would need to find something that uniquely works for you. And so you may have to kind of go through some different rhythms and cadences until you find the one that really works for you, your sweet spot, so to speak, right? Now, everything that I just shared is not just something that I'm teaching, right? It is my system. It's the structure that I use, the structure that I help my students and my clients build when they're ready to move out of hustle mode and into something that actually works and that's breathable. We are all about the exhale over here. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I need to figure out what this can look like in my business, then I have left you 2 simple next step options below. Option number 1 is if you have a question about your offer, your sales system, or your tech setup, or anything that I have discussed in this video, then you simply want to click the Ask Netiva link below. We read every submission, and we might feature your question, anonymously, of course, in an upcoming video where I'll break everything down in detail. The next is if you want support mapping out your most profitable version of your current offers. Or if you're ready to simplify and scale what you're currently selling already, then you're going to select option 2 below. And that's where I walk you through how to nail your scalable offer without the guesswork or piecing it together or overcomplicating things, which I was the queen of. And you'll actually learn how to take your ideas, your assets, and turn it into something that is amazing and profitable and scalable. Either way, I don't want you to just watch this and walk away. My system works when you work it, and it's built to give you clarity before you invest more time or more money in the wrong direction. I want to make sure that your next move is the right one. So in the next video, I'm actually going to be walking you through how one offer turns into a full scalable product suite, because creating a strong front end offer is one thing, okay? But when you expand it into a smart back end system, that'll support long-time growth, and that's a whole other factor. So I will see you in the next one.